Hey, good evening, everybody, and happy Tuesday. Um, Working our way through the week here. But yeah, thought I'd pump out a video regarding Monday Night Raw. Going to review the show and just kind of the big moments that I thought I found on this week's episode from how do you say Dusseldorf, Germany. Still going through their international shows on the road to the Royal Rumble. Not a bad show. It's kind of just average, in my opinion, but it's definitely better than last week's catastrophe of a Stranger Things episode. A little bit happened. I will kind of just take away from the main portions. The main event this week was Gunther against AJ Styles, billing it as their first ever TV match. I think they did a house show previously, but one-on-one for the first time ever on TV. Very strong match. Good match between both competitors. I mean, obviously these two can't have a bad match. So, I mean, there was that. The finish, I know it kind of had a few people kind of upset. AJ had, I think it was a calf crusher locked in on Gunther, and he tapped. But when he tapped, he did it on the ref's opposite side, so the ref did not see it. He was tapping on AJ's hips, so AJ let the submission go, started to celebrate, told the referee that that Gunther tapped out. I think what made this awkward, I think why people might not like it, is because the crowd didn't really know how to react to what was happening. I don't know if they just didn't see it on the screens, but when he was kind of arguing with the ref, the crowd kind of seemed a little confused, which I think kind of took the aura and the head of the moment and kind of made it a little awkward. So the ref was telling the ring announcer, listen, this match is going to continue. AJ goes back over to Gunther. Gunther gives him a low blow and then hits the powerbomb for the finish. So Gunther wins, keeps his, I think, undefeated single streak, non-title match streak intact. I don't think this rivalry is really over. Not really sure where this is going to go. Obviously, the Rumble's coming up, so I think both of them are going to be involved in the Rumble. Speaking of the Rumble, there's been very little build-up to the Rumble, which is only going to be 2 weeks away from this weekend. I don't think we have any official announcement as who's going to be in the match. I don't know if they're just going to kind of treat this year as a complete surprise of entrance, but I think I'm going to make a video maybe later in the week or early next week of who I think is going to win, or kind of maybe my top 10 wrestlers who I think can win both Rumbles. So yeah, decent match, and Gunther comes out on top as predicted. One of the other big stories, and I think the fans really enjoyed this, was at around the beginning of the show, CM Punk came out. I think it was probably within the first hour of the show. CM Punk comes out, says that, listen, I bet Braun. Now I can just focus on the future, holding this title on the road to WrestleMania. He said obviously there are some hurdles with the Rumble and the Chamber beforehand, and says, yeah, I can't wait to see who my next challenger is. He's like, thank you, Dusseldorf. He's about to head up the ramp, and then Finn Balor's music hits. Previous to this, they did a backstage segment where I think it was Liv Morgan, I believe, said to Finn, like, listen, you gotta get your act together. I mean, you have to go and get yourself a singles championship. So Finn Balor comes out and gets in Punk's face, saying, listen, I don't want to wait to the Rumble. I don't wait to the Chamber. I want to go ahead and challenge you for this title. Like, basically immediately. Punk says, okay, let's do it tonight, sort of thing. Big pop from the crowd. And Finn obviously goes, not so fast. We're going to do it in my homeland of Ireland, which is where Raw is next week. So it's Finn against Punk for the world title next week on Raw. Obviously, I know people are happy that Finn is getting a title shot here. Is it going to end up being a win for Finn? I don't think so. I mean, crazier things have happened like we've seen on SmackDown. But I just can't really see Finn holding the title at this point. I think he's going to definitely have a strong showing. He's going to come close and probably have a good showing in the Rumble. But I think Punk is going to retain. But good that they're doing something with this, especially with Drew and now Finn, where the fans are behind both competitors. And I think the last thing I kind of want to focus on here on Raw was the Braun Breaker dilemma. I think it was Dragon Lee and Penta against the Vision. It was Bronson Reed and Austin Theory tag team match. All was going well in this, and then Dragon Lee was kind of hyping up the crowd. I think he did a dive or a flip over the top rope. Kind of got up in the barricade and getting the fans going. They had a long entrance way, so they had Braun Breaker just absolutely sprint down the entranceway and just absolutely annihilate Dragon Lee. Great spear. I love actually when he does from the entrance down. It looks badass. Yeah, that actually draw the attention of Adam Pearce. Took him down. And then it just had Bronson Reed. He was splashing on Penta, and both of them basically got their ass kicked. So yeah, it was Braun and Bronson beating up everybody. And then Pierce got really frustrated, saying, "Get the hell out of the ring." But then Braun Breaker grabs a hold of Pierce. Actually, before that, because there's kind of an important point, that Pierce grabbed Braun to kind of whip him around and say, "Look at me." And then that's when Braun grabs Pierce, throws him into the corner, basically saying, "What are you going to do? What are you going to do?" And it was basically a shoving match all the way up to the ramp until they do a backstage segment where Braun's kind of going towards the camera. Adam Pearce comes out screaming at him, "Where do you think you're going?" They kind of bicker a little bit. Adam Pearce says that Braun is suspended indefinitely. Braun obviously not too happy about that. So Braun storms off. Paul Heyman comes saying, "I don't think that was a good idea, Adam." And Adam Pearce says, "Oh, why the hell do you think that? It's like kind of the right thing to do." And then Paul goes and says, "Well, I mean, you put your hands on Braun Breaker first." And the crowd's like, "Ooh," obviously, because obviously he has a point in that case. So it's kind of interesting maybe to see where the storyline goes. I don't know if they're going to do a GM against Braun storyline, but I think you might see Braun maybe off TV until the Rumble, because I think they're going to probably have to say, okay, he's reinstated for the Royal Rumble, where I can see obviously Braun Breaker being one of the final four in the Rumble. So a decent Raw. Was definitely better than last week. I mean, I would give it probably a 7 out of 10, I guess. I don't really think much else happened. I think there is it's Liv and Roxanne going against for the tag team titles against Rhea and Io. So that'll probably be a good match. I think that they're having that on Saturday night's main event. And then we're going to have the Fatal 4-Way qualifiers Friday on SmackDown, and that'll be another Saturday night's main event. That'll be the main event, seeing who the number one contender is for the Royal Rumble. So kind of like how they're using at least Saturday night's main event to make a big Royal Rumble match. And obviously the women's tag titles will be contested on Saturday night's main event and not the Rumble, because the Rumble's only going to have probably 4 or 5 matches max anyways. But anyways, that's my review of Raw. Decent show. We'll be back tomorrow. I'll probably do another racing video because I know there is some NASCAR news going on. So until then, we will see you for the next one. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.